passport energy. Just no signal.
Elevator talks to this thing. You got your boy Stand Out in the building. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey.
Look, what's going on? We got a special guest, Jules, here. Like, you guys might have seen her all over the internet. You know, she got her thing going, super PR. Like, she's probably behind some of the people that you watch, especially in Vegas and on the West Coast, period. You know, we got Jules. Jules, go ahead and intro yourself in, girl.
Oh, I appreciate you. So I am a PR branding strategist is what I like to say. But I also do marketing, of course. I help a lot of brands for the most part. I want to say in general, of course, in music entertainment, and then also political world and everything else around it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do in general. I think I kind of have like how do I want to say, like a meaning to my madness in a sense.
Okay.
Because I do things a little bit differently. Gratefully, I come from a long line of professionals behind the scenes, honestly, for like the last 20 years, where we were the ones who kicked down the doors. We're the ones who, you know, strived for every opportunity that wasn't even known of, you know, to have an opportunity or to be able to provide an opportunity to the independent artist, talent, brand, or whatever that may be. But for the most part, a lot in the music industry and business for sure. So I'm super grateful because I've came up with a lot of really, really great people behind the scenes. So, you know, I want to always give credit, not just to myself, but to everybody, because it really takes a village to help a brand, you know, like it's not like a one band thing. You know, I know today everybody is so focused on, oh, I can do content and I can do this and, you know, and it's great. Don't mind me. It is super great because now we have AI, thank goodness, and technology. So if you learn how to implement that into your business, that helps wonders for sure. But you still need those few really good contacts, you know, that can actually help you tune in different avenues and whatnot. But
yeah, that's what I was going to kind of ask. Like, how do you feel about like AI being that? I mean, I know it's helpful in like your world, but at the same time, like, do you and the people that you work with, does anybody have fear to like it may be replacing what you guys do?
So I want to say, I think that last year was kind of like a really eye-opening awakening in a sense for a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, just kind of seeing like, oh, whoa, like here's AI and, you know, it could possibly take over whatever it is we do. Now it is, of course, we know replacing a lot of things in general. But here's what I want to say. And I'm talking to whoever the brand is out there that's feeling that way. There's one thing that it cannot do. It cannot replicate who you are and or what is your actual purpose. Like everything that you have inside of you to become successful is literally within you. So the key would be not to so much be afraid in a sense, but I think to keep that to yourself. Now here's a couple quick tricks. Can I say a couple quick tricks?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're using ChatGPT, cool, but do not utilize it in a sense to where you give it spill the beans. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say, for example, you're writing a book, you know, and you have like something in your brain that you're like, okay, I need to write about this. I need to get it out on paper, right? Cool. Write the book. But do not ask ChatGPT how to write it or rephrase it or anything like that, because guess what you're doing? You're giving it the information. So the moment that you actually feed ChatGPT any information, it automatically, worldwide, globally knows that and will actually utilize that.
Yeah.
So
they're
here's
rebelling against you, kind of, in a way.
Yeah. So here's a key. I'm going to say this off. We're on the record, but we're going to be off the record real quick. I think it's Venice dot, oh goodness, I'm gonna have to get it for you
Okay.
at the end. But there's an actual app out there that's kind of like a black web in a sense. You feel me? But it's the same thing like ChatGPT. It does not store your information. It actually saves it though securely for you only. So you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, okay.
So like if you needed it. Now, technically I don't, I do use it for a little bit of things here and there because I still, at the same time, I don't technically use ChatGPT to like write my books or anything like that. Like I actually, might get something to help me like corrections and stuff like that, but nothing information wise. But yeah. So with that being said, I think that here's the thing. With AI and technology and the way that it's moving, I need people to understand this. Every single one of us, we are phenomenally so intelligent. The problem is that we become so lazy and we do not utilize our thoughts, our brain. Like we don't utilize how we used to be, like how back in the day, like if you think about it, like our ancestors are like gladiators and all types of crazy
a lot
stuff,
of shit dumbs us down. It makes us smarter, but it makes us like, I say it like this: we're the smart dumb motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
And it's sad because we're really not dumb. We're very, very intelligent. The thing is that we don't utilize these, we don't utilize our God-given gifts. And what's so crazy is like, I feel so sad, honestly, for this new generation, because they're even saying like statistics are even stating this new generation that's coming out now, and they're using, phones for everything. And, and don't get me wrong, again, it's how you use it,
Right, yeah.
It's like, just don't abuse it. Like if you use it in a sense to assist you in what you're doing, cool. But if you're using it to just use it, you know what I'm saying? And you're not putting any thought or process into it. That's where it gets tricky. But I just want people to understand and never forget that you are phenomenal. Like I look at life in a sense like I love doing what I do, and honestly, as much as I want to like retire in a sense of what I'm doing or some parts of what I'm doing at this moment, I also have ideas and I'm ready for the next chapter. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for the next season. So I truly believe that if we lived that way, everybody, and not so much just, relied on the 9 to 5 or relied on what we're making here, what we're making there, and really just, went for everything that we believe in and really have within us, like we will be fine.
Okay.
The problem is a lot of people don't do that.
No.
So majority of population don't do that. But for the ones that are out there, definitely I would encourage them to,
I tell people all the time, like, especially around, I call it the scamdemic, but around the scamdemic,
right? That's a good one.
People were like heavy into like the metaverse stuff like that, and I was telling them like, yo, like stay out of there, because like when you're in the metaverse, like let me say this without offending too many people, but I really don't give a fuck, but when you're in one world and you're not in reality, you become victim to that world that you're in. Let me say it like that, right? So
that's true.
A lot of guys became incels. If you guys don't know what incels means, that means involuntarily celibate, right? A lot of guys became incels because they're messing around with the Oculus and in the metaverse and stuff like that, and they're thinking that's reality. So now you're distancing yourself from women, which worked out for guys like me and guys that's really out there. I don't even believe in online dating like that, because it's not a real place. I want to meet people in person and talk to them, and
the energy,
feel their energy, catch their vibe, whatever. Even if they're lying, I could still I got a radar, ding 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 ding.
Right.
But all this stuff is literally the thing that's to your demise, I'll say, because like if you overuse it, if you overconsume in these things, like you just said, if you feed ChatGPT everything, well, shit, now ChatGPT knows all your habits, your algorithms, how you think. So now you're giving this program something to actually work against you rather than work for you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing with the people in the metaverse. You're living in this world. You're giving all your time, and time is the most important thing to me. And you're giving them all your time, your energy. You're storing your information into this world, And now all of a sudden that now you got a robot and you got all this other shit that kind of replacing you in a way. You know, I tell women all the time, I feel bad for a lot of women, you know, because we've been replaced with dildos. Us men, we've been replaced with dildos and shit all the time. But
Right. Well, yeah, and now they're replacing women with robots.
yeah, robots, and then like, and then you got, you know, and I hate to go down that alley. We don't even have real
people anymore.
Yeah, and then the people that are real, women are being replaced with men that's turning into women,
and even the women. Oh my goodness, like there's nothing, you know, natural anymore. There's no like, where's this? And like, yeah, we call them women.
let me speaking of women, let me ask you a question. Being that, you know, you probably deal with a lot of men, but you deal with women too. Would you say right now is a time for women to thrive more now than ever, especially like what you do?
That's really cool that you asked me that, because it's funny because I was actually thinking about something earlier today too. Actually, I had a meeting with a friend of mine. Her name is Veronica Baca. They do like wealth and financial things, you know. But yeah, like right now, it just seems like there are so many powerful women, and they're really coming out right now. And I'm just really grateful for that space, you know. And because I want to say a couple things, you know. One, I know that it's really sucks because a lot of women give the generalized woman such a complex, you know what I'm saying, in general. And it really sucks because there's not a whole lot of really great women, you know, but I feel like they are coming out, you know. And even in music, like I'm seeing so many phenomenal artists come out, and like they're really dominating the space. Like for once, like I've never really seen it that way, you know, in all different genres, like for sure, like all around the world. So absolutely, I think that right now is just in general is just a great time to be alive, to be honest. I think we're all just blessed to be here right now. It's a lot happening for sure, but if you just focus, you know, man or woman, in what it is that your purpose is and what you're supposed to be doing, I think it's the most important. And it like you hold so much value right now because of AI, because of technology, because the way that our world has dummied down things. Like we need real substance. We need each other. We need to help each other. We need to push each other. We need to love each other. We need to discipline each other, and we need to push each other to build. And it's like right now that matters, like literally. So I know I go into tangents and apologize.
Nah, like, hey, shit, I love this shit.
So statistics are saying right now that we have an average of 3 to 5 years as an entrepreneur, to, you know, put our foot on the gas and actually mark our spot in a sense. You feel me? But I really truly believe that that's 3 years. So with that being said, if you're not with your foot on the gas, like discipline, pushing each other, helping each other, like not in a room where you're being sucked dry, you know what I'm saying? Then you're not going to make it. Like that's just bottom line. There's no time to play. There's no time for anything other than just where we're going. That's it.
I tell a lot of men that all the time. Like the thing that a lot of people in my experience, the thing that a lot of men where they feel victim to is they say, well, I got time. I could do it tomorrow. Or I'm going to build this, but I'll wait till next week. Or I'm going to wait till I get this. I'm going to wait till I do that. And like every day is a new day to learn. Every day is a new day to be better than yesterday. Every day is a new day to strive, get this much closer to what you want to be. And once you get there, you need to still be trying to strive. It's like, I call it the honeymoon stage where, okay, you got there. Cool. That's great. But at the end of the day, you still got to keep on feeding yourself the knowledge, the information, still having the willpower, still having the determination. I tell people like that all the time in podcasts when they ask me, like, damn, you've been doing this 6 years. And how do you keep on wanting to do it? And how do you keep on having the success to do it? you keep on retaining the same amount of fans. They don't waver.
Right.
And I said, well, one, like I'm a nerd when it comes to this shit. So yeah, like I make all this shit look easy, but like shout out to my producer too. Like by the way, you know what I'm saying? Like if you need a podcast, like, there's a plug right here. Look, I'm gonna put the link right there. Like fuck Out of Box Man Media, they got everything here. They got studios on days and the best fucking producer in the world.
Absolutely.
And
you guys are definitely the bomb.
Yeah, it's like my friends of the show, they come here, they shoot out of here. There's a lot of people. One of the best sports podcasts, they shoot out of here, you know,
nice.
or the Raiders sports podcast.
Right.
My boy TJ. But I'm a nerd when it comes to this shit. Like when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm not watching. I'm hearing the shit that's going on in the background. I'm hearing the shit the static in the mics. I'm hearing where somebody pronounced certain things like that P, that P. I'm
You're
hearing different things.
Yeah, it's your baby.
Yeah, so like I'm like every day, even though I became cool at this, and people are like, oh, you're such a great host, and you're good. You make it the vibe good, and blah 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 blah. I'm still a nerd, so I'm still trying to learn how to get better. I'm still I messed up here. I said this wrong. I did that wrong, or I gave out this wrong information, or I was looking at this camera rather than that camera. You know what I mean? So I think like with everything, you could always get better.
Absolutely.
Always get better, even if you're doing it for a long time, staying in relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of where the seasons evolve, because you start to even see like, and it's not so much saying, even if you're doing podcasts for a time period, you might find innovations throughout that, you know what I'm saying? Or even different topics, or as the world changes and staying on the edge of technology or whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? So that's really cool. And there was something you mentioned earlier, and how, pushing things out to a certain time or saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. So there's something that I actually do. And on my phone, I'm like this whole like 369 type of thing, and I'm sure, you may have heard the 369 laws or whatever, but on my phone. So I do this 6:33, 9:33, 3:33, whatever that time hits, my alarm goes off. And it's specifically to make sure and remind me that I have, from the last time that it went off to the time that it goes off again, that in somewhere within that time frame that I have worked on something moving forward. And I do that every single day, all day long.
That's a jewel for some of you guys. You guys better take notes.
Yeah, I do that. I actually got in a habit doing that, like I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but it really like helped, because at first I was like, oh crap, you know what I'm saying? But now it's just like I'm doing so much. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a day I'm just exhausted. But
let me ask you this. Being that you work with a lot of people and network with a lot of people, what would you say is one of the worst things that they do? Like as a whole, like people as a whole, or that they could do?
Read. I think a lot of people don't read. I mean, I know I read, but I skim. I skim through things, but I think a lot of people don't read. I think that would be the main thing, because it's like, if you listen to instructions, it's like, and I don't want to put anybody on blast, but I know we're all busy, so I just kind of like, I just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? It's like I could put a request to do, a request for something that I might need to get something done. But it's like, if it takes a while to get to me, it's like,
it is what
I could send you a reminder. It's like, like I could press you. I could like, I don't know. It'd be like, okay, time's coming. It's about to pass. You feel me? Like, and then too, having an understanding, I think, of each other is probably another thing, because people just automatically think like, oh, if I call you or if I do this with you, like you're going to jump, and or you don't have a life, or you're just gonna get it done. Like I sometimes wonder, like, do people just think I'm sitting here waiting for their call to just work on their thing?
Yeah.
No, like I'm literally doing 50 million things, and once I have obtained everything that I need, then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I could put it into my schedule to get it done now.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So,
It's funny that you say that because like outside of like podcasts, I do a lot of other things or whatever. And people think that like just because they ask you and they're going to pay you to do this right out the bat, that you got to jump to do that.
Yeah.
And like my thing is like this, like first off, like a lot
human.
of things I do, I'm human. So like I can't get to like half your requests. I can't get to right away. So it's like, you want me to jump just because the money's there or something is there, or we worked together before, but like it doesn't work like that.
No.
My time is precious.
And it's not saying that you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's just that reasonably you're going to fit it into the time bracket that you have now.
Like you
so
want
it's
something
like,
to produce. Like,
Yeah.
how can I do that if I'm already working on something? Like you got to
Yeah.
wait till after the next people.
It's like now, it's like, okay, now it's there. Like, cool. Now I can plan it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So what do you have planned going forward? What big projects are you working on right now? Like that you're excited
So here's
about?
my first question. When does this drop?
This is going to drop. This is going to drop Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. Cool. So I can spill a little beans. So I'm really excited about what I've been working on. It's been kind of a long journey, I want to say, and I think if it's okay, I want to go back a little bit to get to where we're at.
Yeah.
But for those who know me or may not know, I've been behind the scenes for about 20 years. I've actually also been in the music business my entire life, literally since the time I was 9. I had my first concert. I performed live, like playing piano in front of like 1,000 people. By the time I was 13, I was, backup singer, and I did the percussions for my parents' band. I was also a professional dancer and a professional model. Mostly top 40, a lot of top 40, a lot of jazz, Latin jazz, but definitely a lot of top 40. They did like a lot of weddings and parties and things like that. Yeah, so it was really fun. I miss them all. My mom passed a few years ago, but
Condolences.
Huh? Oh, thank you. But anyhow, so with that said, by the time I was 15, had my own band, and then, I kind of got out of the whole entertainment side of thing when I was like my late 20s. Okay. So then I took things behind the scenes, and my goal was to help the individual talent or brand, to be able to take whatever it is that they're doing in their journey from 0 to 1,000. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have any of those resources, by the way, at that time. I just had the vision. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, of course, I had some knowledge, because I had been doing things, since I was a kid. But, it wasn't. That's why I said earlier, it's not like a place that, everything's easy to figure out and find out. Like, no, we didn't know, or was it available? So we had to knock down the doors. We had to figure out who it was, we're talking to. We had to make sure we're in those rooms, et cetera, et cetera. So did that, and gratefully, I want to say probably around 2016 was probably around the time when I was able to say, hey, I've actually now have access to everything you can possibly think of to help someone get from 0 to 1,000. But the thing was, is even in that process, because, I managed a I managed a booking agency. I also managed a transitional living too, somewhere in there. But a booking agency, I was a PR, representative for one of the biggest booking agencies that, I'd been around for quite some time. We worked with a lot of other booking agents as well. This was, of course, before Live Nation. And then I also worked with a global radio network, and then also a music media marketing company, and I'll shout those out later. But through that journey, there was one thing that I noticed is there's way too many people, celebrities at that, or people that are in the business who are on the red carpet and broke. And I just didn't get that. That did not sit well with me at all. So that was kind of my whole I guess, pivot in a sense of what I wanted to do next. And still, of course, I started doing campaigns and things like that and just helping people more directly, direct versus, behind the scenes. And I kind of started doing that around 2018, 2019. So what I did is I actually, my first book is actually this one, which is The Secret Sauce, Your Engine to Success in the Music, because it's in the music business. And the purpose I felt for this book was, one, there's never been a roadmap or a guide to in this business. It's always been just trial and error or figure it out. Like there is no roadmap. There's none. But this will give you pretty much the basis of what it is that you need to know.
Shout out to Secret Sauce.
Yeah, so it's basically the foundation, But once you understand this, it's like everything else will make sense,
Where can I get this book at?
Well, I brought you one,
No,
but it is
not me, but
online,
Okay,
on
online?
Amazon.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
they're on Amazon. You can grab it. So this was kind of like that foundation to
Thank
start
you, by
with.
the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to bring you some. I got some more gifts for you, so I got you. So I started out with this book. I actually wrote this book, put it out like a year after my mom passed. So I believe it was 21. And then from here, I've had this breaking my music like course or thing that I was about to put together, and I had been working on this since before COVID. But of course, we all know we all know that story, right?
Yes.
We had to pivot. So here we are today. I actually just dropped the first workbook, which is called Breaking My Music. The foundation is Music My Passion. It's series 1, volume 1. It's on Amazon as well. I don't have a copy because it's fairly new, but it did come out in January 22nd. So what it is that it's going to be quite a bit of series basically, and every series will be broken down into volumes. So from everything from right now, we're going to be getting into a mindset, and then how to actually how to actually transfer that, with your paradigm, and then into the next one will probably be about your business, and then creating, marketing, you name it. Everything you can possibly think of, it's going to be in there. And what's so really cool about
When do you sleep?
you know what? I honestly, I don't. No, just
I was like, she's
no,
like
no, no.
that. Like,
I do sleep. I do get tired. So I do sleep. But yeah, I do try to do like 7 hours at least. But anyhow, in the workbooks, it's really cool because as we get to certain topics, my specific partners who may be a specialist in that topic, we will do one together, which will be focused because it's not me. You know what I'm saying? I just understand it, looking at it from, this viewpoint, you know what I'm saying? But basically it encompasses all of us, all of us, as every single piece of us is a part. Like, even if I think of, hey, I want to represent a brand, but guess what? At some point we need to come see you. You know what I'm saying? At some point we're going to need to work with him. At some point I need to get marketing. At some point I need funding, so we're really cycling with each other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what I feel is the most important thing of what we do, all of us. Because if we're not cycling with each other, we're not building, and we're not building the community. So my next best thing is Brand Champions Academy, which has actually had a soft launch on the 22nd of last month. Right now, I'm bringing in all my affiliates, partners, and everyone that I've ever serviced. So we're kind of like, this is kind of like our warm up time right now. We're kind of getting it together, but it actually goes public for the public on the 22nd. And I'm super excited about this. So basically what it is an ecosystem for music, entertainment, and business professionals, and pretty much every professional you can think of that's out there. And everything you can possibly think of, from insights to workshops to, material to information to courses, services, you name it, is going to be in this ecosystem. So whatever type of brand, somebody has and looking for, who do I go to for this or who do I go to for that? It'll be available there. And I'm super excited because literally everybody behind the scenes. I'm pretty much like, how do you say, I'm opening up a can of worms. Like this.
I mean, look, I get, like you said earlier, like a good thing to be is busy,
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that you're opening a lot of doors for people that if they take on the knowledge and the information that you're giving them, that the secret sauce, no pun intended, but
No, that's great.
if they take on the secret sauce, and then they stir it up, flick the wrist a little bit, they might be able to come out with something bigger than some of these people that are technically on the red carpets and in these interviews and stuff that don't really have it like that.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, I think too, it's like we're well, there was a couple things that I noticed. One, I'm repeating myself every call. I was doing 30-minute calls back to back to back to back to back, and I'm constantly repeating myself. And I'm like, oh Lord, I can't keep doing this.
Do you charge for these calls, or do you?
So generally not at first. Now if it's a consultation type of thing, yeah, but no. But I am leading them to an intake, and 90% of the time, we're doing business. Yeah. But so that's one. But the other thing is that, like, say for example, and I'm sure you've experienced this before, like you could be working with somebody and you work with them on an ongoing basis, and then they go do something in another, they needed some type of service or whatever. But guess what? The right person.
Yeah.
But they didn't ask you. You know what I'm saying? They go do what they do.
Yeah.
And they get screwed or whatever they do. And then they come back and then they're going to tell you about it.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
the double back effect.
like, bro, like, why you didn't say something? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have helped you. I would have saved you. I would have saved you all that. But we do this on a regular, and it's almost out of sight, out of mind, So it's like, well, we don't see it or hear it or know it. It's like, oh, okay, like I'm just gonna go to the next best thing that I think or whatever it is. It's like we forget to do homework, and we forget to do to just kind of do our due diligence in a sense. You feel me? Of where it is the best way to find things. So that's also too where I'm hoping to eliminate in this ecosystem, because I'm bringing the best of the best, So whether they want to go through them, they don't technically have to, but guess what? They're going to get the number one insights. They're going to get the information. They're going to get the workshops. So it's available if you want it. Now, if up to you, you go and decide to go somewhere else because you think it's cheaper or whatever, and then cool. But I'm going to give them the information.
Well, I mean, if people, shout out to all your social medias and stuff, but if you follow you on social media, like you could tell, like, she got a lot going on, like, cause there's always something that you post that's like, it's either you're at a party, you're at an event, you're around all these people and stuff. So it's like, damn, like, shit, like, she's around everybody. I've seen you around a lot of different people and at a lot of different events. And so what I'm asking is people, let's say let's say I'm having a big comedy show, for example, right?
Okay.
All right, come to you. Let's say I get a consultation, right? Like, where would your role play in that? Like, would you help out with the branding and the marketing, or?
So like for a comedy show?
Yeah, I'm just hypothetical.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
Or a concert. Let's say a concert.
Okay. I mean, either one. I've actually done both. But generally, just kind of get an idea like what their goals are, what they want to kind of get out of the event. What they got already going, what kind of tools or services they're already implementing, and then what they think they may need in general. And these are kind of general questions really for any type of brand event or really whatever. And then based around that, I do my homework on the actual company itself just to kind of really see what's actually missing. And I do this even for events because, like, for example, I did a I'm sure people may have heard out there, like on the West Coast anyway, there was a thing called Tequila Thursdays, and it was going around for a couple of years, I want to say. and the owner, she's a good friend of mine, so but even when I put this one together, it was like where we were having the event at when we first started, they didn't have like anything found, and they were in Vegas, so it was like, oh, you're a venue in Vegas and you're not Googleable? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? How am I going to get people there?
Yeah.
So like, just to give you an example. So for that, I did some actual groundwork for the venue itself versus not just Tequila Thursdays, because it was important to know who's this place and where are we going versus also the company. So it really just depends, it just really kind of like whatever is like missing, if it's not populating in a sense to be able to reach the goals in a sense, we want to fix that immediately so that we can at least, it can pop.
Do you do management?
You know what, I do a lot around management for sure, but I technically never say manager. Although now I do have a few artists that do say PR/manager. But yeah, for the most part, I do a lot of management. But also I want to say this. I'm not, whenever I'm working with somebody, I'm not technically doing it alone. I have a team.
Kind of like Dr. Dre. Like Dr. Dre.
Yes, I have a team.
He might be the face of, but like just in Hitmaker, they might be the face of something, but they got all these other people, creating that sound or that music with them. It's not just
Absolutely.
him or, it's like I got somebody that's composing half the beat. I got somebody that's working on the snares. I got somebody that's working on the drums and the guitars and stuff like that. I got somebody that's cutting the sample, stuff like that. And then I'm the mastermind that just puts it all together and boom, boom, boom,
Absolutely. Like just an example, let's just say, I could say, okay, I'm representing, this artist and I do PR and some management stuff for them. I could be managing things like the social media or whatever, but I'm also putting them on a press run. So guess what? They're going to meet Geo Smith, you feel me, to go on those press runs with him, because I'm not going to be the only one scheduling, and then I need to coordinate them with, a tour agent, so I'm going to go get, my guy, Sean, who does tours, and you feel me? So I'm literally connecting like the dots that make sense specifically for the brand or movement or whatever it is that the goals we're trying to reach.
So let me ask you this now. We're going to play a game.
Okay.
So we're going to play the game. We're going to shout out all the stuff that you need to shout out. And don't forget none. And then we're going to get out of here.
Forget.
But, okay, so the game is name the top 3 things that you want to get accomplished within the next 3 years.
Oh. I think the number one thing is making sure that this community that I'm putting together is just working on its own for everybody out there, because I feel like it's a huge it's a huge part, from my angle anyways, as far as empowering each other and even building out our entrepreneurships and communities, or we won't have one, and I think it goes along with many other things, of just how I said earlier, just kind of supporting each other, pushing each other, disciplining each other, all those things. So that would be great, that it just kind of, is just very fluid and helping a lot of people around the world. That would be one. 2, that I could retire from it. And I definitely am looking to get back into, I probably have more books to write down the line, but one of the main things I really want to do is just get back into, I'm actually an interior design major, and I did it for quite some time, but the last, what was it, like 2008, last recession, I haven't done anything since then. It was actually the last time I even worked at any job in a sense, but definitely want to do a lot more interior designing and real estate and stuff like that, investing, things like that around the world. So yeah.
Okay, what are 3 songs that you listen to, or 3 artists that you'll listen to on your day-to-days, like the main 3?
That's a horrible question to ask me, to be honest, because I listen to so much music, honestly. Yeah, I listen to a lot of music. And I probably listen to a lot more playlists than anything. So I could probably shout out more DJs versus versus just an actual artist, you know. But I want to say I probably listen to hear Sade probably almost every day.
It's like one of my favorite.
Yeah, I think
that's
like
one of my
everybody.
favorite female artists.
I think it's kind of like a go-to because it's always in the playlist.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And like that, just that voice, you know. Like
Yes, absolutely. I think one of my favorite DJs right now is Tenzo. She's the best. She's awesome. She does all types of mixes, so I can kind of like just vibe whatever vibe I'm trying to look for.
So it's dope women and dope spaces, DJing, music,
Yeah,
PR.
absolutely.
Okay, you know.
And yeah, and then I think if there's probably an artist that I say that I probably listen to a whole lot, is probably going to be one of my main artists, which is Ashanti Major. I probably listen to a lot of her music pretty often.
I know who that is.
The West Coast Queen. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. 3 movies that determine your life.
Oh Lord. I don't have a favorite movie. Dang, there was a movie the other day that I was like, I think it's one of my faves. I'm horrible at the movie thing. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Okay.
That's a D6 question.
Okay, so like that's for me, like I think the 3 movies that determine my life, like up until this point, is probably like Boomerang,
Oh.
Goodfellas,
Okay.
and I would say probably like Friday Night Lights.
What is it?
Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
And obviously it's not 100% like that, but like they determine my life for the fact being that high school football star or high school football guy growing up, you know, I know the grit, the grind, and the heartbreak, the tears, and all that stuff that goes into that sport. And then Boomerang is because it's like coming up, I was always kind of like your ladies' man type of
Gotcha.
bachelor Casanova guy or whatever. And there's been times where I've been put in a trick bag, or I put myself in a trick bag, where you know I might like somebody, but you know we kind of fall out, but I end up falling for somebody else, whatever the case may be. And then Goodfellas is because it's like all the other, even when business and criminal activity is kind of like all the same. It's just one is legal, one is not, you know?
You gotta do a little both.
Yeah. And everything, it all comes back to one big ass circle.
It does.
You know? And all the principles are the same as like religion, like politics, all that shit is all the same.
Right.
You know? And then, yeah. Okay. This is my last question.
Okay.
What does therapy look like for you?
I want to say therapy is a huge part of my life. It's a everyday thing, morning, day, and night. For me, I pray a lot.
Okay.
Literally through everything through in the car when I'm on my way, like before I say everywhere. But I think therapy actually goes along too with mindset. And that's actually one of the main, I'm really excited about it because that is the main topic that I'm really going to take charge on in the community, aside from just all the other stuff. Because it's almost like without that, it doesn't matter what it is you do. If you don't have this aligned, nothing else matters. Like literally.
100% agree.
And that's like just an example, you know, my mom was I don't want to say the last person because I've actually lost a lot more people after her, but a lot of really good friends. And it's wild because some are so young, you know, even younger than me. And, but you know, when I lost my mom, I think it was such a hard time because and it kind of goes really deep. I'm not going to go all the way deep into it, but we didn't have a great relationship. Let's just say that. But I love her. That's my mom.
Right.
She's my queen, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and I never disrespected her, always respected her, never called her a name, nothing. Like, no matter what she's ever did to me, I just like, this is my mom, you know? But along with that, you know, years before, I lost a lot of people in my family that I never got a chance to see in years or say goodbye to because of things me and my mom were going through. And so it was a lot, for me, because I have to, at that moment, all I want to do is crawl under a rock and just say screw everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have to look at the obligations that I have. One, of course, number one, my family. But with that, it's also my business, and they go hand in hand, because it's like, if I can't do business, I can't do much for my family.
Yeah.
If I can't do this for my family, I can't do this for the community, So it literally goes hand in hand. And I think that's for all of us, like life can be really crazy and tricky, but it's super important. I feel like everybody should have some type of ground, when you wake up in the morning. Like even taking I took quantum law like some years ago, and it was probably the best thing I could ever do, because it really taught me to like spend more time, with myself in the morning every day before I actually take a phone call. Because I was that person, literally wake up, like I was that person, literally, like I remember getting calls like from a promoter or DJ, back in the day, and they're like, hey, it could be 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and it's like they're at an after party or something, but guess what? E40's here, and he just flew in, and we need to have this meeting like right now. Like, can you and like we're jumping up, getting dressed, you feel me, running out. Like I did that for years and years, in and out. So at a certain point, it's like you can't continue to just keep doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to pause,
You
have to bring it down, and I was even that person that woke up in the morning and I'm on a phone call, or I see a text, or go to my phone, and I just don't do that anymore.
No,
I literally spend more time just kind of decompressing, just reading something. I usually read either a book, or I also read the Bible, of course, every day in the morning. That kind of just helps me set my pace, do my workout, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
But
you have to
you just have to pace yourself throughout the day, for sure.
Yeah, you have to, because I'm a person, like I used to be available to people like at any time, and now I'm unavailable like at a certain time, like if it's not important, like, or if it's not like a life or death type of thing, like I could wait for the call, or I could wait for hours, wait to respond, especially if it's not somebody in my circle, right?
Yeah.
And so
and even then,
yeah,
you
now
still have
it's just
to,
like, you gotta let them wait, especially if there's some bullshit, right?
Because if we're not mentally prepared ourselves, how do we be mentally prepared for everybody else? You can't.
Yeah, I had to go through a cycle in the morning. Like when I wake up, I had to read or listen to something like motivational, and I got to get, I got to go through a whole motion of things, and then. Like if I'm driving to like work or driving somewhere, like I had to get my outside of praying and all that stuff, I had to get my tone right and my pace right. So I got to put on certain music. Sometimes it might be hip hop, sometimes it might be jazz, sometimes it might be R&B. Yeah, so it has to be something to get my mental right first, and then I could start taking on the day. I could be Superman after that, but not right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't.
You got to.
Your time is the most important thing that.
And
you
even
have.
Superman took breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out everything that you want to shout out. Tell everybody where they can find the books. Tell everybody where they can find you. Tell everybody. Just all the plugs. Just shout that shit out, girl.
Oh man, I appreciate you. First, I want to shout you out. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Especially for my delayed arrival.
It's all good.
I appreciate you. I do want to shout out for sure. G6, Jules Smith, Money Train Management. Thank you. He set this up.
Shout out to him.
Always appreciate him. For sure. More than anything. Like he helps me out a lot. Like, although I got I got a lot of it down packed, but at the same time, it helps me.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, my management team, but also, man, there's so many people to shout out. And I feel like if I'm missing somebody, just say it. I'm just going to say it now. I do shout a lot of people out in my book. I shout people out in the community, things like that. But for sure, I want to say Music Funding Academy, Chris Tyson, one of my partners. I actually met him like 20 years ago. It's been a really cool journey just to be a part of everything that he's doing. So I'm grateful for the movement and just everything we're doing. there with helping, artists to get funding. Last year, I think we did like 2 million in funding for artists. So it's pretty dope. So we're actually giving them, the tools that they need in order to get to the funding. Kevin Shine, super dope. Another good partner of mine, Writing Sessions America. We help a lot of people with sync deals, placements, and things like that. Gosh, there's so many people. I want to say, cue the plug. I know he's out there. My brother, he's super dope. We had a really dope experience with Boozy and a few others, but yeah, there's so many great people, like, honestly, and I'm just super grateful, to be a part of, the journey and to be able to work with everybody. But I want to say Tiffany Gaines, is dope. Mystic, she's dope. I just love everybody, and I'm just so grateful for everyone because like I said, it takes a team of people in order to put something together and, really make some heavy motion for these talents, artists and or brands, so super excited. And there's a lot of really great, even media companies out there, Empire Magazine, Street Motivation Magazine. I have to, I've worked with a lot of these guys in the beginning of their journey, the Ox Connect, Soul Central Magazine, Tip Drill Magazine. There's so many, but yeah, just grateful for, all of it. And it's super dope, like I want to say, this is probably the last thing I want to say. It's super, super dope. And I think this is probably the best thing that I get out of all of this is being able to work with somebody, even from the ground up, but also there's a lot of even young ones that I've worked with. Like I have an intern, he's not an intern anymore, but he was when he was like 16, and he's like, I want to say close to his 30s now. Pretty dope. Has like his own videographer team, and he's the writer and things like that. But I love seeing them flourish. I love just being able
that's the
to
best thing
like
to see.
know that the tools that there's people out there that really take it to the top, and I'm grateful for those people. Those are the people that we're looking for. We're not looking for everybody. We're looking, I just want to be available for the ones that really want to meet the energy and want to take it to the next level. And man, let's rock out.
Yeah. And on that note, hey, shout out to everybody that she just shouted out. Shout out to Out the Box Media. Shout out to just everybody all people that mess with us. Shout out to all the fans, the family. Shout out to G6 again.
I want to say Memphis Hollywood too. He's be rocking out here in Vegas. There's a lot of really dope DJs out here.
Yes,
Mo Lyric.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of really dope people. Hot 7, E-Crease at Hot 7025. They're really dope too. So yeah, there's a lot of really great people out here. But like I said, if I'm missing anybody, I promise I got you. I got you all.
Yes, hey. She didn't mean no harm, and she didn't shout you out. Just know that she got you. And on that note, we out. Go cop her book too. Go cop it on Amazon.
So sorry. Amazon. Yep.
Yeah, The Secret Sauce.
The Secret Sauce and the actual workbook series, which is Breaking My Music. Pretty easy to find on Amazon. And I'm Jules of Rome, JUELSOFROME. Literally everywhere. I've been able to cop the name, so it's there. It's everywhere.
Shout out to Jules of Rome.
Thank you.
And on that note, we out. Peace.